your back? Are you gonna tell me where you went? All the messages I sent with no reply.
Hello, Thousand Life fams. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Janaea and this is Live Thousand Lives. Today, I'm going to be doing a tag for you guys. This is the Halloween Extravaganza book tag. I'll leave the original creators in the description box below. I saw it on Bookable's channel, but I will leave the original creators and her video in the description box below for you guys so that you can do this tag if you want to or watch the videos for it. It was super fun. There's a lot of questions, so I won't be going over like what these books are about. So let's just dive in, shall we? Question number 1 is which a book that enchanted you? For this, I'm going to go with an overall series, and that would be A Court of Thorns and Roses, the series, but this book kind of drew me into that series, but the second one so far is technically my favorite. But I would say this entire series just enchanted me. I love it. I think about it all the time. It's just one of those series that is amazing. So, highly recommend. Number 2 is Vampire. A book with vampire themes or characters. And for this, I'm going to be going with another series, and that is the Sookie Stackhouse series. This is the first one. It's Dead Until Dark. I've read the entire series. My daughter Karina is now reading them, hence the book tag. But I stole this back so I could do this tag. I refuse to do Twilight because I don't like Twilight anymore. This is such a good series. If you are 18 years or older and like some smut, I highly recommend. It's good. It is kind of like cringy, but it's still good. So that's what I'm going with for that. Number 3 is Frankenstein's Monster, a book with a misunderstood character. And for this, I am going with none other than A Court of Mist and Fury, because my favorite character is highly, highly misunderstood. And I love him so much. Sorry I had to go with a copycat, but my baby's in here. And he is highly, highly misunderstood. Most of the characters in here, though, kind of are misunderstood. So prompt number 4 was The Devil, and that is a book that was fire. Now, as I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, so that could be a good thing or a bad thing. It could be a book you wanted to throw in the fire because you hated it so much, or it could be a book that was on fire or made you feel like you were on fire. I went with Do Not Disturb by A.R. Torre. I love this series. The Dean and Madden series is so good. This second book was freaking amazing. And it does set you on fire a little bit. You kind of don't know what is going to happen. There's a lot of things that people should burn in hell for. So that's kind of why I went with this series. Is there's some things that happen in the first book and in this book that I'm like, if those people were real, they'd be going to hell. So anyway, that's kind of how I took it, was literal, like, who's gonna join the devil in hell? Some characters from this definitely would. This is such a great series. I love this series. And it's on fire. So there's that too. Number 5 is Llorona. And that is a book that will make you cry forever. And if you've watched my vlog, I'll link it in the cards, whichever side that's on. I'll link it in the cards up above, and I'll link it in the description box below for you. If you've seen the vlog, you'll know. But for me, that is Wonder by R.J. Palico. This will make me cry forever due to the fact that it touches so close to home for me. My father has a facial disfiguration, and my son wears hearing aids. So it will always make me cry. I cry just thinking about this book sometimes. I don't even think I can watch the movie because of how bad the book made me cry. So yeah. but it was super good. Love it. Check it out. I think adults and children all need to read this. Number 6 is Shapeshifter. This is a book whose cover doesn't do it justice, or a misunderstood cover. For me, I don't think that Nemesis cover does it justice for what this is about and the whole premise of the book. This does nothing for me. This does not explain to me what this is about. This doesn't show to me what this is about. So I would definitely say Nemesis. And this is a great book. And I feel like maybe people, I don't hear about it as much because either A, I'm really, really late to the game, or B, because people don't get the cover. They just think, oh, well, that's weird, because it's just like torn paper, X's in paper. It's not really anything that has to do with the book. So that's just my opinion. I would say Nemesis, and this is a very good book, by the way. Number 7 is Haunted House, a book with a haunting cover. And for that, I have to go with, because this book just, this cover haunts me, and if you've read it, this scene in this book haunts me really, really bad. So I would have to say Hollow City, the second novel in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This cover is haunting to me. And I just, that's it. It's just a haunting cover. Makes me very sad and creeps me out just a tad. Number 8 is Jack-o'-lantern, a book that gave you guidance. For this, and I don't have the dust jacket because I hate dust jackets, but for this I'm going with Fearless. I don't know if you can even see that, by Max Lucado. This is a book by one of my favorite Christian authors, and this is about how to overcome your fear and to work through your fear. It doesn't mean that you won't have fear. It just means that you can work through your fear. And this really helped me. I used to be afraid of everything, and even recently with like the COVID and everything going on in the world, I go back to this a lot because it's scary out there. But this really does help me to work through my fear and to move past it and not let it control me. And that's what this is about, and it has guided me through fear. So I highly, highly recommend it. Fearless by Max Lucado. Number 9 is Trick, and that is a book that tricked you. For this, I'm going with The Queen's Assassin by Melissa De La Cruz. I absolutely loved this book, but it did trick me. I did not see the twist coming here. Maybe some of you did, and that's great. I did not. This totally tricked me, and I loved it. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. Tricked me in a good way, not a bad way. So that's what I'm going to say for that. Number 10 is Or Treat, a sweet book. And for this, I had to go with There's Something About Sweetie by Sandhya Menon. This is probably one of my favorite books of the year so far. I love her writing. I love this story. This is just so sweet and wholesome, and I just absolutely adore it. I highly recommend you check this out. Number 11 is Bobbing for Apples. This is a messy book. So I'm gonna say Save the Date by Morgan Matson. Number 1, the outside kind of looks messy with the stickers. But number 2, in here, it is like a Murphy's Law effect. Everything that could go wrong went wrong in here, and so therefore it is very, very messy. Very, very chaotic, and I just figured this would be the perfect book. Did I like it? Abso-freaking-lutely. Does not mean it was not messy and chaotic though. So that's what I'm going with. You can agree or disagree, but I don't think I could have thought of anything else besides this. You know what I mean? Zombie is a reread. I I could have done a ton of different things for this, but I decided to go with the Percy Jackson series as a whole. I reread this a lot. I'm in the middle of a reread for this, and I absolutely adore this series every time I read it. Like, I adore it more and more every single time I read these. They are phenomenal. I'm 34 years old, okay? Read this. It's great. I love these. These are so cute. Oh, read the Percy Jackson series. Read it. Number 13 is Ghost, and that is a book that you still think about. And for this, it has to be The Book Thief. I think about this a lot because of the interesting premise as it being from the point of view of death, which, ghostly, let me tell you. The fact that there's so much death, and I mean, this is set in World War II. This is set in Nazi Germany, so like, hello, there's bound to be some ghosties, right? But I just can't stop thinking about this. This book is so unique with the fact that it's written from Death's point of view, and the fact that it follows this girl and just her life and all the tragedy, and it's so good, you guys. Read this book. Number 14 is Candy Corn, and this is a book that everyone else likes, but you don't. Which, honestly, I hate candy corn, so this is perfect for me. So the majority of the people I watch love this book. I hated this book. I absolutely hated it. It was so boring. And I didn't really understand what was happening because I was not interested. And like, I think that like I tuned it out as I was reading it because it was boring to me. That's The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I wanted to love this because everyone else seemed to, especially like some of my favorite booktubers, but I hate this book. I think I gave it a 2-star when I initially read it, but I think it would have to be a 1 because I literally despise this book. I only keep it for videos like this. So sorry, don't come for me. Don't come for me. Number 15 is Skull, and that is a book with a meaningful death. This was actually really hard because I was like, well, what is a meaningful death? Like, is a meaningful death one where someone dies for a purpose, or is it a meaningful death because of the outcome of their death? In a couple other books that I've read where like the person died and it led to this event, or is it this person had to die because of this? So I just went with the easy answer. Don't kill me for this, but I would say Harry Potter, not this one, but the entirety of Harry Potter, his parents, you know, the other deaths that happen. I mean, most people know his parents are dead, so, but the other deaths that happen, there's a few that I can say were meaningful, and then there's also a few I'm like, why? Number 16 is Black Cat, and that's a book that I like that no one else seems to like. Now, I went for a book that I just haven't heard a lot of people talking about. I don't know if people just don't like it or if people just haven't read this book. So this is what I'm going with. And honestly, this book is fantastic, so come on, jump on the bandwagon, okay? That would be Otherworld by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller. Jason Segel is, I don't know if you guys don't know who he is. He played in How I Met Your Mother. And he's written other books too. I didn't know that. But this is a very good book, and I highly recommend it. I need to get the rest in this series because I read the first one so long ago. I'll probably read it again, to be honest, before I read the other ones, but it was really good, you guys. I grabbed it because I was like, oh, I like Jason Segel, but I was worried. I was like, actors writing books, is that really gonna be a good thing? But it actually really was. Like, he did a good job. But this one, my camera battery is flashing, so I need to hurry, but luckily we don't got too much more left. Number 17 is The Moon, and that is, here's a blue moon, a book you read for a character who is precious to you. Now, I read this book and then this character became precious to me, but I will always reread this book and this character. I think about this book a lot. These characters mean a lot to me. This book means a lot to me. And that is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. I love this book. I love these characters and I just love them. It's really good. Check this one out if you haven't already. The next one is Mask, a book with a dust jacket that you hate or that has like a interesting dust jacket situation. Well, I hate dust jackets. Normally I didn't do it with this one. I either take them off when I read them. Okay, sorry about that. My camera actually did die before I was able to finish. Number 18 is Mask, book with a dust jacket you hate or an interesting dust jacket situation. My interesting dust jacket situation is I hate them. So as you'll see, some books I take the dust jacket off. I keep them, but sometimes I don't put them back on because I hate them. Sometimes I will read them like that without the dust jacket and then put the dust jacket back on. Other times I will tape the dust jackets on the books and read them that way. I hate dust jackets because when you're reading them on your book, they tend to move around and it drives me crazy. I mean, look at that. I just opened it and it falls out. Drives me crazy. I hate dust jackets. So that's my answer, is I hate them all. What are you gonna do? Now, don't get me wrong, like some dust jackets are beautiful and like I like them, which is why they go back on the books. But I just hate that they're so annoying, I guess. Moving on. Number 19 is Face Paint, and that is a book that features a clown. No. Just no. I don't do it. I don't like clowns. I'm afraid of clowns. I had a very, very traumatic experience as a kid with a clown. I don't read books with clowns. I have never read it and never will. I have watched the movie It because a friend told me to. For Halloween we watched it. It was awful. I cried. It was bad. This was many years ago. I was still in high school, but I don't like clowns. I don't even like clowns in cartoons. So no clowns for this girl. Yeah, it was just not good. So story time. When I was like 4, my grandma took me to a circus. I believe it was a circus. I only remember this part of the outing that we went on. We went to the circus, I guess, and there was a place where you could ride camels and you could ride elephants. I got to ride both of them. But when it was my turn to ride the elephant, I was scared because elephants are big creatures, you know. I love them now. They're one of my favorite animals of all time. But I was very, very afraid. And instead of like talking me through it, this clown came over, picked me up, and started walking around the elephant. So I was out of view of my grandma. I couldn't see her. I didn't know where he was taking me. I didn't know if I was being kidnapped. I started to cry hysterically, to the point where I started kicking him and he eventually put me down. My grandma had like rushed around to try to see what was going on, you know. I thought I was being kidnapped by this clown. Yes, I know, like, obviously that wasn't the case. He was just gonna take me and put me on the elephant. But in my little brain, I thought he's taking me away from my grandma. I will never see her again. So I don't like clowns still to this day because that was very traumatic for me. I ended up riding the elephant though, and it was fun. I ended up loving it. But yeah, that's my traumatic clown story for you guys. So yeah. Anyway, that is all for this book tag. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and hit that little bell icon and hit the subscribe button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. Remember that all of my social media links are in the description box below for you if you want to be my friend on any other platform. I have my Amazon wishlist down below if you're interested to see what I am interested in purchasing and getting for my collection. And if you want to send me something, feel free. Super sweet of you if you do. If you don't, that's cool too. Also, I have mental health links in the description box below for you or someone you know. If anyone needs them, please use them. I know this has been a very trying time for everyone, and I have had to use them. Don't feel like you're alone. We're all going through things, and we all need help sometimes. So please use them. Remember, guys, a reader lives 1,000 lives, and so can you. So keep on reading. And remember to be safe, be kind, be healthy, be happy, and always love one another. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.
It's like that. You're just gonna walk into my room. I hate how you assume I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, your secrets to my grave.